Moisture testing is a vital component and a necessary process for flooring installations, regardless whether it be wood flooring or any of our synthetics. The reason for it is important is because we have installation systems that do have moisture tolerances, and concrete is naturally humid. At the time of pour, it's 100% humidity. We want to make sure that the humidity levels are in line permanently on a stable and predictable slab, so we can have a better view of how long are these installations going to last. We want flooring installations to last a really, really long time. We have installations that last 30, 40 years. So understanding and testing moisture content and also pH in concrete, which is naturally alkaline, so when you have water and pH coming together, there are some adhesives that are reactive to that and can cause installation problems down the road. Now, the interesting thing that we deal with concrete, with faster track construction, and given that water that is really prevalent in concrete at the time of pour, to the point that you'll have water bleeding, we call it bleed water or free water, that actually comes out of the concrete. And the concrete needs to be wet in order for it to be properly hydrated to become good construction-worthy densified concrete. So it has to be wet. Unfortunately, the problem with that is that we want, in the flooring industry, we want that water to be out of there because it can affect, various installation systems that are less tolerant. In today's world, because of our responses to the concrete, and especially with faster track construction, projects that used to take 2 to 3 years to build can be built in 6 months today. And because of this faster installation, we're dealing with concrete that has higher moisture conditions. So we can't necessarily slow the construction down. So we offer a multitude of different installation systems. We have our traditional full spread acrylic adhesive, that is our multi-set. That's actually set at 83% relative humidity, RH, via the probe, okay? We also have our spray adhesive, which has a higher moisture tolerance at 90% at this point. And then we also have our green lay system, which relatively uses no adhesive at all. Very good installation system, which cuts down your adhesive use by up to 98%. And then we also have our multi-epoxy, which on our OmniSports floor, we can actually carry that up to 98% on top of a predictable, stable slab, which is impressive. And then finally, we have our Tarkett. What's fascinating about Tarkett is it's a departure from the typical moisture mitigation systems that are not supplied by Tarkett. Would be shot blasting the slab. You'd have to get it to a CSP3 profile, atypically, which is a pretty rough concrete slab. And then you apply epoxy to it. And then oftentimes you're going to have to do another layer on top of that of a self-leveling underlayment in order to get the floor flat. Right? After shot blasting, you actually trench the concrete. Now, we can avoid that process. It's actually cheaper, but also there's some advantages of using a slip sheet membrane like Tarkett because it isolates our installation system away from the concrete. Any other system that we have with topically applied moisture mitigation systems, there can be issues with movement of the joints. You could have minor lateral movement back and forth. You can also have eventual cracking, which can affect a full spread installation system. It can also affect moisture mitigation systems, right? With Tarkett, however, we have raised buttons on the bottom of it, and what this does is it creates an environment of micro-venting. So one of the things that you can run into with a high moisture floor is you can get vapor pressure, water vapor pressure pushing up through the concrete, and that can destroy many types of flooring installation systems. Well, because we're essentially floating on top of the concrete, vapor pressure cannot form. It eliminates the possibility. OmniSports or some of our other synthetic products that we use, Tarkett as well, we don't have a moisture limit. On a properly designed slab, we can be at 100%, and there's actually no need to even test the concrete at that point.